Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the finest Dawn of War Soulstorm cast this side of East Yorkshire. As they have a 1 versus 1 on Outer Reaches. Over in the Sisters corner we've got Nameless, and over in the Chaos corner we have got Dantist. Dantist will be opening up with a fistful of cultist squads as well as double plasma generators, whereas the Sisters are going to go for Pristine Sanctuary, a Adeptus Sororitas Convent, as well as a couple of missionaries. So I'm very interested in this chaotic opening. Double plasma generators, no quick armory, no nothing. I reckon he's probably going to be trying to capture as many of these strategic points as humanly possible with these cultists. Wait for his green money to go up and maybe do an early tech into tier 2, possible sacrificial circle, maybe just going to wait till he gets his numbers up and then maybe build an armory and then give them all grenade launchers. It's not an opening I've seen before. It'll be interesting to see how it goes up against the inevitable, there we go, double Seraphins, deleting the Pristine Sanctuary. So it'll be 2 whole Seraphim squads, but I don't think that Nameless is expecting just the wave of cultists coming from the Chaos base. Although the Seraphins have got something to their name, I suppose. They do have lots of terrain features to jump about on this map with, so they will be able to take down these cultists, but early in the game, one single missionary as the opening squad for the Sisters of Battle against a fully fledged squad of cultists. Yeah, the Sisters are going to be on the back foot for the beginning of this match, no doubt. Do have some Seraphins now coming out, trying to save their missionary from being bodied by these cultists. But I do like it, the Seraphins will see this cultist, and I do believe that killing all the cultists would be ideal for stopping this mass spread of listening posts from the Chaos player. One heretic moving forward, building up the listening post, whereas these Sisters fisting some misters in close combat. But that is a lot of misters, to be fair, and they do have a slight close combat advantage, but the Seraphins have the major advantage of being able to fire while shooting back, well, move backwards while shooting backwards, if that sentence even made any sense. One of the few units, I think it's the other unit in the game that does have that ability. It does make their manoeuvrability an absolute pain in the backside for everyone to use. Another heretic does go down. But the Sisters won't be able to do all that much with bashing buildings. These Seraphins aren't known for their deconstruction capabilities. Although then again, the Ecclesiarchal Servitors, whoever they are, do have a deconstruction ability, I do believe. Don't know if it's available for them at the beginning of the game or whether they've got to research it, but that does figure about like 1,000 damage to the listening post, so almost bringing it down to half health. We'll get an upgrade on this bad boy, and that will probably send the Seraphins home. Another listening post over here being upgraded. I do like how these plasma generators have been popped right next to the upgraded listening post as well. Will pay dividends in the defense of those generators. So Sisters are just going to be content bashing around this one. Heretic going to move forward, see if it can build up. I think that listening post only maybe a couple of hit points left to build up, so that's why it was there, and now they're able to get that upgrade on there. Heretic surrendering its life for the construction of that listening post. Critical locations not being touched by anyone at the moment. It's a bit of a misstep. These things, while they never usually give you the victory, they are still quite a critical thing to have captured, no doubt. Keeps your enemy on the toes. Cult's going to try and take care of this Ecclesiarchal Servitor, not having the best of days. Seraphins are going to try and save them from a distance. And let's have a look at the economy. 56 and 0 compared to 74 and 20. Armory now up for the cultists. So we will be seeing, I assume, some grenade launchers at some point. I do quite like how the cultists have managed to keep these strategic points away from the Sisters' grasp. I think including that, oh no, they haven't, not preventing the missionary from capturing it, although he is still not finished, so it's not all seen and done over there yet. Now double Seraphins on this one cultist squad. I do believe that I think what a problem with these Sisters is going on at the moment is that it's a bit of a game of whack-a-mole. They're going from one cultist to another cultist squad, and I think maybe what they're doing now is ideal, where they just focus on killing one squad and then going to find another squad and bashing that squad. A scorched earth approach probably would be best. Heavy bolter turret now being fixed up by 2 heretics over here. Chaos are a little bit vulnerable to Seraphins, I would say, if they focus down on the heretics, because even if the heretics survive the harassment, they don't have anything in the way of health regeneration. So any damage done to them is permanent. Heavy bolter turret now been finished. This listing post, not long for this world, will be bashed up. Is anyone going for the next tier? Another well, Sister's first plasma generator going on here. No tier 2 going. No tier 2 going for the Chaos player as far as I'm aware, so both teams firmly comfortable within their tier 1 capabilities. Oh, there we go, second one for the Sisters, so Sisters managed to capture all these bits and bobs over here. Now going to be slowly consolidating their hold on this side. And now with some grenade launchers on these cultists. I mean, will that help them in range against these Seraphins? I mean, I suppose it will. Especially if you get a good, staunch line of cultists. Going to have to be very careful with how they engage. We'll jump over. See if they can fire away into these cultists. Don't want to go down the middle with that heavy bolter turret, so we'll decide to try and deny any bits and bobs going on over here. Quickly smashing their way into these cultists over here, getting one squad wipe and then deciding to pull back. Surgical precision strikes from these Sisters. Another plasma generator going down. 80 and 20 compared to 92 and 30. So, hell's bells, even with all that aggression early on in the game in the form of multiple cultists, the Sisters have managed to get that economy up and running. This listing post over here being upgraded, so these cultists can't really bash it, in all fairness. Another heavy bolter turret going down, so it looks like the Chaos play is going for a bit of a defensive play. Now would be the time to tech up. There we go, going into tier 2. But what would be the play for them? I mean, would they go Raptors and trying to go into here and bash things around with frag grenades? Well, not frag grenades, crack grenades. Don't know if that'd be the idea. Maybe machine pit with some, what do you call them? The big crab walkers. Defilers, that's what they're called. Sisters, haha, jumping in there and giving out a big nope, and then jumping straight back out. A little bit too much muscle to hustle with right there. We'll just decide to jump over here, but then also being shunned away by the upgraded listening post and the heavy bolter turret. But you've got jumpy things. You can just go around here and then just jump into the base. You don't need to harass all these guys. But then again, they've had to do double jumps to get there, so maybe not ready for that type of engagement. Machine pit on the way. So we shall see what's coming up. There we go, Defilers. So yeah, usually with Chaos, if you don't know what to go for, if you're unsure, usually Defilers are a good shout. They're decent in close combat, decent at ranged combat. They're a vehicle, so they're always good to go for if your enemy don't have any anti-vehicle capabilities. Missionary, being bashed around, activating his healing of hands. I suppose that's another problem for Seraphins as well, is that you can't attach missionaries to them. Seraphins now deciding to come over onto this side of the map, going to huddle around this heavy cover. Defiler firing away. Good, decent range on that Defiler. Acts as an artillery as well as close combat and mid-range combat unit. Seraphins being a bit lost for words here. Lots of, what would you call it? Lots of area effect damage in the form of grenade launchers and the Defiler. Celestians now out on the field. Heavy infantry will be good against anything and everything, both building and vehicular, if I want to use the American vernacular for that. I think it's in America that they pronounce things vehicular. That's like Texas or something. I don't know. It's all one big country in my brain. Manufactorum coming out for the Sisters. I assume that will be some rhinos. Pack these Celestians in. Get them nice and close. Oh, look at that, rhinos. There we go. Get them nice and close. Pop them out next to the Defiler. And blast it to smithereens. Seraphins moving forward, although these cultists are camping out in the heavy cover. We'll move back a bit though. Don't want to get too close with these girls. 2 versus 1. That's not a dynamic you'd survive for very long. More plasma generators. A pristine sanctuary being rebuilt. Double Celestians soon to be on the field. Although it does look like one squad of Celestians occupy 2 slots in the Rhino. Double Defilers now out. Defilers, while they do have the capacity to be anti-vehicle, it's only really close combat in which they are anti-vehicle, so this Rhino is quite safe to just manoeuvre around. Celestians going to have a little bit of a difficult time firing, just merely because of the sheer amount of knockback from these Defilers. Sacrificial Circle also going down. Seraphins moving around on the side, going to be also firing into the Defilers. They haven't gone for the upgrade where they get big shiny. Oh no, he says that. And now they've got the upgrade where they can now increase their general DPS and whatnot. Also got their Inferno pistols as well, which will help them smash away through heavy infantry. There's not much heavy infantry on the field at the moment. Just any additional DPS will do when taking care of these Defilers. One Defiler has gone down. Rhino not looking very pretty at the moment, being slapped around by that heavy bottle turret down south. But it does look like the Sisters are pulling it back. There's not much in the way of cultists going on. All the Chaos Economy going for these Defilers. Going for some horror squads as well. Does look like we've got another Celestian squad on the field, so maybe a transition away from these Defilers. Getting these guys close and personal is not what you want when these Celestians are out on the field. Keep them behind a, like we say, a staunch line of cultists, or maybe transition to something a little bit less vulnerable to these Celestians. More ladies coming out. Horrors about to pop. They're just going to pop themselves straight down over here. We'll try and probably assault these Rhinos, preventing the Sisters from being as mobile as they currently are. We'll manage to get that Rhino. It looks like it's been forgotten about by, sorry, what's his name? By Nameless.
I serve the Emperor.
Celestians just keeping their distance at the moment. And what's the play here? Well, 116 and 50 compared to 110 and 60. So fairly even economies, although the Chaos player will have a bit of a bash on his blue money when this listening post goes down, unless this Defiler can push them back. But double Celestians, man, even with triple Defilers, it's not an engagement you really want to take. Heretic
Whatever you desire.
doing a moonwalk to repair this Defiler. Seraphin's now going to jump round the side, will be confronted with this listening post. Already half health there from the earlier harassment. Going to activate their Archangel damage doofer ability. Relatively quickly. Not the quickest you'd like, but will take down that listening post. Defiler's not going to try and defend it. Going to instead look longingly over at these cultists. They've now gone infiltrated. Seraphin's over here, only 2 left in their squad. Was a costly assault to take down this listening post.
And in return, grant us the power of the
What are these Sisters going to go for? More Celestians. We've got more Defilers coming out. Yep, we're just seeing a committal to the Defiler strategy. I suppose after a while, it doesn't really matter what the Sisters go for. Celestians on the field won't be able to stand up for long enough to use their multi-melters. That is the plan, boys and girls. Cultist now capturing his critical location in the middle. But I reckon if the Sisters keep on keeping on, make sure that, like, what's going on here, keep the missionaries in with the Celestians so they can use their laying of hands. Tier 2 listening post going down from the artillery fire of the Defilers. No units at the moment ready to capture it. We do have a cultist squad over here that could capture it if they wanted to, but these demonic engines are being pushed back somewhat. I had a big scream. What was going on there? What was that? Or was it just the sound of people dying or whatnot? For a second I thought a Greater Demon of Khorne had been summoned. I was like, ooh, heaven forbid. Are anyone teching up at the moment? No big tech ups? Ah, Sister's going for tier 3. That's exciting. Fire seem to have held their own on the top over yonder. Sacrificial Circle taking a beating. More shiny bits on these Seraphins. Heavy bolter turret being upgraded with a missile launcher, being a little bit wasted as there is no vehicles for them to fire at. Rhino production has all but ceased. As the Celestian squads don't really need all that much mobility against these Defilers. They've got basically these two avenues to defend.
We captured it for chaos.
And it seems as though the... Who's got the countdown? Dantist going for the countdown, so Chaos just need to hold on to the top and bottom. Lots of artillery fire bashing around these Celestians. Bright lights from their melter guns pouring into the side of the Defilers. No heretics nearby to repair them. We'll try and peel back that Defiler, managing to save it for a little while. Healing of hands keeping these ladies alive. But this Celestian squad over here not looking all that pretty. We'll get a full squad wipe over there. And yeah, the Defiler strat seems to be working. Seraphins down south. So what can the sisters really do at this point? I mean, Celestians are their bread and butter for dealing with for dealing with vehicles. Their manufacturer doesn't really pump out anything considerably anti-vehicle-ish. I mean, the, whatever you call it, the immolator? The immolator. That could be equipped with a multi-melter. But then, still, this is a lot of DPS to deal with. And then they're not cheap. I mean, looking at the Sisters economy at the moment, not got all that much in the way of green money spare. Having spent a lot of their green money on these melter guns and upgrading, well, reinforcing their Sisters. 45 blue money and 10 green money. Not the cheapest unit to reinforce, but then again, not the most expensive neither. Do have a Chaos Sorcerer on the field. If he gets his Chains of Torment ability upgrade, that'll be absolutely deadly for the Sisters player. As we've seen over on this side of the, well, top left-hand side of the map, when they were retreating, they could have had 2 squad wipes there if they'd stayed put. The Chain of Torment going on one of these Celestians will be a guaranteed death for them. And these Defilers, so long as they've got line of sight, they don't need to even get involved in the combat. Double infiltrated cultists coming in. I mean, missionaries will be able to spot them, but they don't want to get... I mean, they'll have to get within spotting range, and if they get within spotting range, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Defilers will just absolutely annihilate them. Ah, but there we go. If you don't know what to go for in a situation like this, pray to the saints and they shall rescue you from sin and debauchery. This will be a lot for the living saint to deal with, so Celestine will have to put her money where her mouth is and really go to town on anything and everything she sees. Burning Sword going up against this horror squad. Penitent Engine also on the field as well. Going to turn its attention to this Chaos Sorcerer down here. Living Saint jumping over. And let's get nice and close with some combat animations. I do quite like the way these two guys fight. Oh no, dear, oh dear. Being surrounded on all sides is the Penitent Engine. Really feeling penitent and sorry about their situation that they are in at the moment. Oh dear, that is not what you want on a Monday evening, let me tell you. Christ. Quite the engagement. Living Saint over here, though, managing to solo a Defiler. And a control area victory for Dantist on the way. Cultists being able to decap this bit over here. Another Penitent Engine out on the field. And to be honest, 1 Penitent Engine and a Living Saint versus 3 Defilers and a couple of cultists led by Chaos Sorcerer. My money's on the Sisters for this little engagement over here. We'll have to push out at some point. I think too much economic damage has been done to them for them to really pull it back. But you just never know. By the skin of their teeth, with a prayer in their mouths, maybe. What's going on in general at the moment. Got another manufactorum going down here. More missionaries. Nothing coming from the Adeptus Sororitas Convent. Chaos energy is going, so potential predators. Some obliterators on the way as well. Some possessed squads, so now I think that, yeah, there we go, the, how would I say, the Chaos player is now transitioning into the more elite infantry of, well, of what the roster of Chaos can provide. No defilers are safe from Saint Celestine that will just slap around on all these Dark Mechanicum creations. Discontinued. What was it? 2014 they were discontinued, I think? Many years ago, though. Won't see those on tabletops nowadays. Penitent's Engine slapping down one of the remaining defilers. Obliterator squad, slowly but surely, in their dark yellow armour, mulching their way through anything and everything that they see. Living Saint now just going to bash as much as possible in the way of Chaos Economy. 62 and 95 compared to 157 and 75. Bit of a squad cap issue going on at the moment. Chaos would be able to, how would I say, capitalise on their additional economy if they were able to invest more in their infantry, although I suppose Chaos Energies will mean that they're probably going to go for some Predators, probably. Or maybe even a Greater Demon of Khorne. I mean, imagine that. Saint versus Khorne. Will it happen? We can only cross our fingers. Possessed Marines over here. Don't want to be going toe-to-toe with these two juggernauts in close combat. Or maybe they will. I mean, they are possessed. They are a bit mental. We'll see if they could just try and protect their precious economy for as long as possible. Big winding up attack from the Living Saints. While this is going on, we do have some Seraphins continually decapping bits and bobs. But Chaos Predator and Obliterator squad now pushing into the main state of the Sisters base. So as lovely as all this listing post bashing is over here, they will need to come back and do some sort of defending. Sisters going for that reinforced hull plating, which doubt if that'll keep. Oh, there we go. Penitent Engine also being recruited. Ecclesiarchal Servitors trying to keep this thing alive, and he just surrenders. I suppose when you see that Predator, you see the Obliterator, and they were going for a bloodthirster, so I imagine in the grand scheme of things he was fighting a losing battle, but it would have been lovely to just see him hold on for a little bit longer and just see that epic battle between the two relic units. But hey ho, it's all gravy, baby.
Yes.
Anyway, thanks for coming. Pleasure's always never short, and I'll see you in a bit. Peace.